us, brothers! Return a greeting in kind!
Asunder. In this darkest hour, we are besieged on all fronts. By enemies from within. By enemies from without. By enemies from beyond. Still, no matter the cost, we must persevere. Every blade must be turned to our defense. Every soul, every dark secret. For if we fail, all will fall into the damnation of eternal night.
Okay.
New challenge for me?
Oh yeah, just go to this place.
Welcome to the Rykad Minori's Command Center.
What are all these enforcers and soldiers doing in this shelter? Why are they not on the streets fighting back against the enemies of humanity?
I presume it is because the governor does not wish to be without his personal guard.
The tall, dark-skinned man turns toward you and greets you in a curt military manner.
Faisal Rakati of Medine AF Koronus, governor of this star system. Welcome to my temporary headquarters.
The man's gaze falls on Abelard. His eyes slightly narrow.
We're Syrian.
Abelard nods dryly.
Governor Medine, my greetings.
The governor's expression changes drastically when he sees Cassia.
Lady Navigator, what an honor. I never thought that House Orselio would grace our world with a visit. I only wish I could have received you under different circumstances.
Cassie purses her lips, and an echo of grief knocks the wind out of those present.
House Orselio is grateful for the support that you have provided to Uric V these many years.
I'm not seeing the convoy I'd sent to meet you. What happened? Did they fail to find and escort you? If that is so, I promise you their punishment will be swift and severe. That is an outrage. I will have the personnel vetting procedure changed immediately. The slightest suspicion will be grounds for arrest. Your Lordship, before we proceed with discussing the matters that are of interest to you, there's a question I feel compelled to ask. It was only recently that Lady Theodora was the head of House von Valancius. I have received no word of her demise. How is it that you are now the rogue trader?
The governor frowns, and a deep shadow falls over his face.
Ushtada von Valancius. Slain. Unthinkable. Please accept my deepest and most sincere condolences, Your Lordship.
The governor bows his head in acceptance.
Of course, Your Lordship, you will be compensated for any losses. And I'll see to it personally that your ship's holds are filled with the finest goods from my personal reserves.
Abelard nods in approval and remarks quietly.
Excellent, Your Lordship. A rogue trader has no use for leniency. I can offer you several thousand fine, obedient servants. However, I'm sad to inform you that I won't be able to do it until we've dealt with the insurgency on the planet. I'm sure you won't have to wait long. The rabble will soon be duly punished for their heretical scheming. Voitvir is a traitor? Why? Any family, however noble, has an unworthy scion or two. Naturally, we will surrender him should we find him within my jurisdiction. Unfortunately, I have no information regarding his location. However,
the governor pauses to think.
We have a cogitator here at the command center. It's connected to a data crypt from Logis Able Sanctum. It aggregated all the Lex Mechanic reports. Unfortunately, the access prayer for it is unknown to me. If you manage to convince the stubborn machine, you might learn something about Conrad's movements. I'd hazard he fled from you on a ship, not on a pair of wings.
The governor lowers his voice.
I do. Master Van Calix has left for the hallowed electrodynamic Cenobium. It's an ancient monastery of the Adeptus Mechanicus. I don't know what his objectives are. Needless to say, insurgent activity has been observed in the monastery's vicinity. But I suppose that's too petty of a problem for an agent of the Most Holy Inquisition. Besides, I have already sent a small detachment of reinforcements there. The weapon the insurgents were using to shoot down shuttles over the city has been destroyed. Now nothing is preventing you from returning to your ship. If you wish to find Master Van Calix, you should go to the Cenobium of the Adeptus Mechanicus.
Notes of anxiety creep into the voice that rattles from Pascal's Vox.
On behalf of the priesthood of Mars, I, Muggos Hanuman, am officially initiating my participation in the operation. I must inspect the state of the relic and assure myself that it is under zero risk of falling into heretic hands. According to the Catechism of Maintenance and Operation, my tech comrades were supposed to lock the monastery gates against lay people and activate the traps. I deem it optimal that an ordained Muggos should provide his assistance. I categorically object.
The governor clenches his fist.
As much as I respect the sanctity of a monastery, I have on my hands a whole capital that needs to be attended by the omniscious servants. We have lost many eminent tech priests. Incidentally, one of them perished in that same monastery. Mechanical failures could occur at any moment. Putting it bluntly, you may consider yourself forcibly recruited into the city's defense forces.
Medina and Pascal glare at each other, their unyielding gazes like crossed swords.
You mistake me for a fool. I know that he arrived separately from you, and I would bet my life that no.
The governor's voice dies down in the low growl of a drilling mechadendrite.
Is he about to
Its
kill
tip
him?
is directed straight at the bridge of his nose. Medina clears his throat and grumbles stubbornly.
So this is the negotiation technique you... No, but this could be your last.
Pascal's voice is akin to the sound produced by his drilling implement, steady and calm, but ready to explode at a moment's notice with the crunching of bone and the squelching of tearing flesh.
I am heading to the monastery, because I must. Is that clear?
The governor mutters through gritted teeth.
Abundantly so, Muggos. Thank you for your cooperation, your lordship.
The drill stops.
As compensation for your consideration of my request, I, Muggos Hainiman, officially undertake to accompany you in the Rycat system in the role of bodyguard and to protect you at all costs until your life functions cease, but only within the limits of the Rycat system. You're Hainiman? Glad you're alive.
The governor raises his eyebrow and stares at the tech priest in surprise, but refrains from further commentary.
The Cenobium has been run by the Adeptus Mechanicus ever since the colony was founded. The sacred reactor guarded by its priests powers the entire planet. I can say no more. It is a forbidden place that even I have only been allowed to visit once before.
The governor looks at Pascal with curiosity.
According to the reports we've received, Logis Abel Hainiman set off for the hallowed electrodynamic Cenobium a short while before it was stormed. I'm glad to find out that you're safe. Perhaps you possess it from...
Pascal's vox rasps in confusion.
My name is Pascal Hainiman, not Abel. I know nothing about such a person. I've never met him in person. That esteemed Logis supervised the work of Rycad, Minories' Lex Mechanics, for many years. However, he rarely left his cyber chapel, and I never had the honor of... When a Logis of the Adeptus Mechanicus wants to go somewhere, we don't ask why. I would have suggested that you inspect the esteemed Logis' sanctum, but it was destroyed by the rebels. We recovered several data crypts, and...
It is amazing that a mechanical voice from a vox can sound so confused.
That name might have been used as a signal intelligible only to its intended recipient. In that case, its bearer might be Archmagos Amarnat, initiating an investigation and data collection procedure.
Idira tenses up and listens, then turns around sharply to face Pascal.
I can hear my friend's snide whispers through the door. Be careful on your search, Magos. If you stare into a shattered mirror for too long, you might see yourself in it.
Glad to be of service, your lordship. Is that so?
The governor maintains his composure.
I'd like to hear your reasoning.
The governor's eyes darken, but your unwavering gaze makes him give in.
All right. Perhaps I've underestimated the mutiny, writing it off as the rabble,'s usual nonsense. However, if it does involve corruption and an underground cult, this needs to be investigated. The sergeant who managed to impress a person of such noble standing... The Arbites? Why are they here? This place is passing under the command of the Adeptus Arbites.
The arbitrator marches forward relentlessly and halts one step away from the governor, looking down at him.
Governor Medine, in the name of the Lex Imperialis, I, Proctor Solomon Anhar, arrest you on suspicion of involvement in the theft of the shipment of the Imperial tithe. Taking into account the state of emergency on this planet, I will permit you to retain your authority under my direct supervision. From this time forth, you will give the Adeptus Arbites your full cooperation, in particular by transferring command of the strike groups and other resources to me.
Medina, though deathly pale, proudly raises his chin.
Arrest me? Transfer my resources? Your demands undermine my efforts to suppress the rebellion. Excuse me, Proctor, but this accusation of stealing the sacred tithe is simply...
He stops talking under the arbitrator's oppressive, merciless.
Denying guilt only adds to the suspicions against you, Governor. Now, let us go over everything one more time. The tithe was stolen from your world. You are culpable for this incident whether you were personally involved or not. You will provide the resources I have requested without objection, as this measure serves to re-establish control over the planet. Comply, or I will consider your refusal and obstruction of the investigation and take steps accordingly. It seems I am left with no other option than to obey your will. As his law-abiding servant, I honor the word of the Lex Imperialis.
Medina shoots you a quick glance.
Unless his lordship has...
The governor puts his hands behind his back, either to appear more confident or to hide the tremor in his fingers.
In that case, please accommodate yourself, Proctor. But before I give you the access codes, I must give a protracted, self-exonerating statement. There's no need. All information required of you will be obtained during questioning, without witnesses, be it your personal guard or the rogue trader. Just you, me, and Glado.
The cybermastiff lets out a heavy growl that sends a shiver down your spine.
Yes, this is far from what I was expecting from this assignment. The things we do for the mission. Stop the heretics from taking over the starport and other locations critical to the investigation. Blood of the throne, I will be governing over... Have faith in my methods, Governor. I am not going to depopulate your world. After all, it needs to be able to continue paying the tithe.
The arbitrator's voice rings with steel.
Aversion to collateral damage is a weakness that heretics exploit to the fullest. While you... I know this from a few intercepted Vox exchanges and a couple of scumbags we've...
I won't tolerate weakness.
Identifying. Rogue Trader, the Crimson Priesthood greets you.
This cogitator looks a lot older and more worn than the ones next to it. The screen reads, "Away. You have bypassed the security layers." Pascal leans forward and runs his fingers over the keys. The cogitator's screen blinks and responds with strings of unknown characters. I cannot see the secret design, but I can sense it, shackled in stasis. The minds of the initiated are slumbering in the neural harness of their vows. I am registering an impulse of change. I surmise a potential influence on the stasis of the secret design. There came a time when the spiral was turned into a circle, but the cycle can be discontinued. The revelation granted by the Omnisia to Logis Abel in the course of his data meditation has been recorded verbatim. Logis Abel is seeking an audience with the Venerable Darimpulse 6 who may assist in interpreting the revelation. A request has been sent to the Governor's Palace for a shuttle flight to the electrodynamic Cenobium. A message has also been sent to the Furibunda system.
The cycle can be discontinued. I recognize the words.
The voice from the Vox is soft and pensive, barely audible over the static noise.
I believe I know the intended recipient of the message in the Furibunda system. It was me, Omnisia. Grant me the wisdom to fathom this mystery.
Upon Logis Abel's orders, the archives of every Augur station on Rykad Minoris and the 2 primary satellites of Rykad Star have been queried. Said satellites are named Magos Maruf and Zafira the Keen, after 2 great champions of faith. Computation result, positive. Multiple instances of interference and malfunction detected, suggesting that the ships moving across the system deliberately blinded the sacred Augur's eyes. The first of these ships is thought to have arrived 2 Rykad Minoris cycles ago, early in the winter. The most recent one arrived a month ago. Logis Abel's conclusion, the insurrection on the planet had been long in the making, with the participation of external actors. It is alleged that 2 cycles ago, Aurora arrived in the Rykad system, the rumoured unholy prophet of the insurgents. The subsequent ship movements can be attributed to weapon deliveries. But what is the nature of their activity? The satellite Magos Maruf reports that a ship has translated into the system. Its signature is consistent with the records of the flagship. The satellite Zafire the King reports that a ship drifting nearby has hurriedly sped away. The ship had sent an encrypted Vox transmission to the insurgent-controlled areas of the surface of Rykard Minoris. Another transmission was directed to planetoid Rykard Ephilia. Both transmissions were signed Brother Twilight. Their contents could not be decrypted. The entry contains planetside coordinates marked as heavy Auger station jamming. Possibly a hidden insurgent base?
I'll lay claim to the stars.
These heavy chains are used to adjust the height of the command platform.
Perimeter secured.
A good spot for a defensive position. Let's hunker down and throw these amateurs out. Greetings, your lordship. Not you two. I swear on the golden throne.
I'm guessing there's no exit out here. Back the way I came. Holy shit. Up away. Really out of the way.
None shall stand in my way.
Oh yeah, got a level up. Ugh. Okay, let's take a look. Perfect spot. That's the one I need. 25% cover, 15% perception, 15. Okay. Now I should be able to get that one I really wanted. Sniper, student S. Where is it? Is it just gone now? I swear there was like sniper expert. Heavy armor, heavy weapon.
It's about
Okay,
time.
glad that's out of the way. Now I can actually play. So they're taking back the city now and there's cars everywhere. So that's pretty good.
What is that?
Nothing escapes my sight. Never doubt me. Cast your eye there. See?
Many traps
Right
over
there.
here, Jesus. Must be something
Duty
good over there.
prevails. I better myself through my service. Never doubt me. Duty prevails.
A new challenge for me?
The Emperor favors me today.
Clearly oblivious to your presence, the soldier mutters incoherently and does not react to anything around him.
Guess I'll take all the stuff then. If that's how he's gonna be.
Something of interest.
Okay, now I've done everything there is necessary. I believe.
Fight heresy, serve a higher purpose, safeguard humanity's dominion.
I won't tolerate weakness.
Unlocked.
Successful.
The shuttle must have been shot out of the sky by a powerful weapon before it crashed into the building and fell onto the once crowded street.
Halt! I noticed something.
Thomas. You deserve that.
Attention! As ordered by the planet's lawful governor, to prevent recurring rebellions, all planetary guard patrols are to be doubled. All conspirators and instigators will be harshly punished.
I'll lay claim to the stars.
Errant rubbish lies scattered between the seats covered in stone dust, old programs, faded tickets, and food scraps of unknown origin. The soldiers' bodies and the general aftermath of the battle suggest that the attackers knew the squad's numbers, ranks, and movement route precisely. This shuttle must be what crashed into the building and destroyed part of the street. The temple's tower collapsed onto the pavement and is blocking the way. It will take days to clear the rubble.
Victory awaits.
I remember this place, I got lost in here for ages. For that means I know exactly where my ship's at.
How may I serve, your lordship?
Nothing to say, okay. Guess I'll get back on my ship.
Machine spirit, be merciful, be glorious.
What's going on?
How may I serve, your lordship?
I said, get me back to my ship.
Will do, your lordship. Let's fly.
Okay, so I've been pretty much everywhere. I should go here one thing.
The Vox crackles to life, and Master Helmsman Raver addresses you. What we have here, Lord Cap-N, it is not very noticeable, but there's a void ship sitting in the local asteroid field. Hear us? The Vox transmission hisses. Copy? Lord Captain, I am told our augurs cannot determine the allegiance. A merchant vessel. Of course. Telemetry shows multiple hull breaches, most likely caused by the guns of a The whisper. We were just flying, minding our own business, straight out of the... In case... The honeyed voice of the high factotum interrupts.
Why have these places got like question marks now? Are there new spots? Ooh, there are new spots. Electrodynamic cenobium. I guess that's where I need to go.
Follow my lead.
The heretics were killed swiftly and ruthlessly. They never had time to reach for their weapons. You note that wire junctions are often marked with the symbol of a key that appears to connect two lines.
As far as I
On the maladies of machine spirits and the ways of diagnostic divination.
Major hive cities on Rycat. Hidden somewhere in the depths of this building is a reactor of monstrous, unfathomable power.
The mummified tech priest rests on a table, enveloped in wires.
A tech priest's body rests on a metal table, surrounded by sparking spirals of copper coil. A patina of sacred unguents covers his withered flesh. His augmetics have been polished with great care. Intricate electus cover the dead man's crossed arms and bare torso, and strands of wires envelop his head. Pascal respectfully bows his head before the dead man and carefully touches the shriveled body with the tip of his mechadendrite.
Honored adherent.
The body seems motionless, but you notice a slight tremor in the fingertips. This ancient servant of the Omnisia must be data dreaming. His mind, enveloped in digital reverie, can persist for hundreds or thousands of years while his frail body is decaying. This sacred state of trance is a great reward only earned by the wisest and most pious servants of the machine god.
Such purity of color. I have never seen anything like it. Deep tranquility shrouded in a cool white cloud. Such unity of thought and spirit. The dead are incapable of exuding such hues.
Next to the table the body is resting on, you see small amulets crafted from burned cogitator circuit boards. There is no dust on these small offerings. The light in the crypt becomes a little brighter and sharper, and the smell of ozone fills the air. The vox on the ceiling comes alive and lets forth a solemn Binharik aria that turns into a crackling, somnolent voice.
In this dark hour, I am ready to bring you good tidings, tech brethren. Now respond with the words of the second Galvanicum.
The second Galvanicum is a revered and miraculous prayer of the Adeptus Mechanicus. Naturally, you know it very well.
Let be so indeed.
The vox's voice grows louder.
Praetor Electroid Dar Impulse 2, by the will of the Omniscient. I am one with the motive force, and it opens my mind to the sacred impulses of knowledge. My reason has become as fast as the flying electron and the ray of light, and time is no more for me, for I... In my data dream, I saw their unholy requests and rejected them angrily. For it is said in the 4th article of security, no unbeliever's hand shall intrude upon... This statement is true. The 1st article of security says, fear above all evil. So be it. In the name of shaming the unbelievers, I grant you the blessing of special access and protection from the rage of the motive force.
Dry cracking sounds come from inside the crypt's walls as awakened cogitators process the ancient tech priest's command.
What does that mean?
The mummified tech priest rests on the table, enveloped in wires.
Oh wow. I just spoke to Maggie and he said I'm all good, so...
And you'll die quickly.
Okay, guess not.
The enemies of the Emperor will be undone! Faith without deeds is worthless. I'll do it. Doubt is for the weak. As the Emperor commands, I act.
Why are these people trying to fuck
I
with me?
will not.
What did I do to them?
Step aside. The navigator is coming.
Well, I'm going to cover there. Because... What's this?
Isn't this a job for the serfs? Me? If you insist, Lord Captain. Anything is.
Oh, I only hit one of them? Dang. What's this thing? Take aim. Okay.
Isn't this a job for the serfs?
It cleanses the body.
No, it doesn't do any damage. Okay, what if I move her like here?
They who discern the future on the battlefield. On it.
As the tactical imperative dictates.
Oh, I'm gonna hit my boy, I don't want to do that.
The omniscient divine venerates you, machine spirit. My vow is to serve.
Try your luck while you still draw breath.
Tried and tested tactics are the best ones. I will do my duty. I took care of this one. All too easy. You didn't stand a chance. Nothing I can't do. Already done.
I'll do it.
If I may,
Oh shit, she's got other weapons, so it would have been better for that. That's annoying.
I'm not accustomed to being ordered around.
me!
I'm not so sure. Will do. No can do. But of course.
Advancing. Running binary override. Request approved. Request denied.
Injured! I'm enraged!
Nothing of value has been lost.
I've seen worse battles than this in my time. One fewer turned. At your beck and call.
Suits my purpose.
Dang.
None shall stand in my way.
The cogitator's green screen lights up as you approach it and displays the flashing message. Pilgrim, only the words of the first galvanic hymn will reveal to you the gifts hidden behind. Pascal's Vox lets out a noisy groan as if he is clearing his throat, but then stops abruptly. After a brief pause, he averts his gaze and says in a rasping voice,
It is not known to me. Only high-ranking servants at shrines of energetic prosperity are permitted to perform the first galvanic hymn.
Abelard snorts and struggles to suppress an involuntary smile.
Emperor help us all. The esteemed Muggos has been caught out not knowing a prayer, and now he's floundering like a cadet in an exam. I never thought I'd see the day.
Verse 2 calls to you, Pilgrim, let us fill our souls with gratitude toward. Now finish this prayer, Pilgrim, may the unity of the sacred charge's power. A solemn Binharic trill comes from the cogitator. Verily so. A pilgrim who has learned our ways is worthy of the gifts of the enlightened.
I'll lay claim to the stars.
Nice. Loot. What's the deal with this thing?
A motive force field seals the passage, threatening to incinerate anyone who touches it.
Okay. Thought I spoke to Matey and he was like, cool, do what you need.
The mummified tech priest rests on the table, enveloped in wires.
not satisfied with that answer, I will repeat my question again. The last electro priest you killed, where did you find him?
Burn in the fire of dawn, servant of the corpse emperor!
And another one meets the limit of his utility. The last of them.
The tall, dark-haired man sizes you up with a quick glance. A supernatural chill is making the air around him crackle softly. The expensive fabric of his jacket is stitched with gold thread and marked by several reddish-brown stains. A force sword and a vox hang from his belt, and the emblem of the Holy Inquisition glitters on his chest. You try to focus on the man in front of you, but you cannot shake the image of the deadly torture he inflicted on his victim. Your pulse quickens, blood pounding in your ears and sweat beading on your skin.
And in this, we must be like him. My greetings to you, fellow servant of the Master of Mankind. I am Interrogator Heinrichs van Kalox of the Imperial Inquisition's esteemed Ordo Xenos. With whom do I have?
Shadow. A great big sun-eclipsing, chain-weaving shadow. I can see the threads, myriads of them extending toward us all, and all of them creeping off toward him like snakes, shrouding us in poison. My, oh my, do I sense trouble, and it's right in my throat. It itches.
A psyker. Interesting. And a diviner at that. Even more interesting. Are you sanctioned?
Don't you Inquisition me! I'm under the robe trader's protection!
Your retinue, you say? Then let's go back to my previous question. With whom? Von Valancius. To the best of my knowledge, that dynasty is headed by the esteemed Theodora von Valancius. Has there been a change of circumstances? The news is lamentable. My condolences. And I presume the heir to the sacred warrant of trade and the lofty title of rogue trader is none other than yourself. Well then, what precisely has brought you to... Then the timing of our meeting is fortuitous. I am requisitioning you and your retinue.
Requisitioning? Young man, your choice of words is unseemly to the point of insult. You're addressing a rogue trader.
I don't imagine you'll be any happier if I say taking into inquisitorial custody.
To aid his faithful servant in the fight against corruption is the solemn duty of all whose actions affect millions of the Imperium subjects. Let your example guide those who will carry the Emperor's light across 1,000 stars.
You are familiar with the works of Inquisitor Alistar the Redeemer. Not every acolyte can say the same, let alone people less initiated. Please forgive my lapse in manners, Lady Navigator Orselio. It is a great honor. I came to Ricad Minoris on a mission, which a rebellion prevented me from fulfilling. The governor is convinced that malcontents from among the rabble were the instigators, but I immediately suspected a more sinister presence at the root of the mutiny. My visit to the monastery and a few unhurried conversations with some of the rebels confirmed my suspicions. Someone by the name of Aurora is leading the rebellion. Data indicates that the head of the cultists is here right now, in the sanctum of the ancient reactor. Given the prophecy of the final dawn, and the special efforts made by the enemies of humanity to seize the monastery, their goal is to gain access to the holy power source's control circuit and trigger a process that, once started, cannot be stopped. In other words, to detonate the reactor, thus being themselves the cause of their much-touted final dawn.
Blasphemous insanity.
Thank you. Regrettably, the governor's people showed themselves to be unprepared for the perils of this place. And extracting blade shards from a person's stomach is beyond my powers. I hope that a rogue trader's retinue will prove more capable than a group of soldiers fresh off the base. I am positive that not all of the electro-priests within these walls have perished. The heretics spoke of shadows emerging from side alleys to make short work of the cultists invading their abode. I surmise that the entrance to their hiding place is somewhere in the hall, near a machine known as the Circular Cogitator. I imagine it's...
Oh damn, now it's gonna get annoying. I don't want to lose anyone, but okay.
I won't tolerate weakness.
The hard, uncomfortable somno meditation bed is equipped with neural ports to connect the sleeper to the monastery's cogitator network.
8 ranks? Are you fucking kidding me? Okay,
What
glad
ails
that's
you?
done.
We tire of idleness. Let's move. Follow my lead. What is that?
There's more up there.
Take a knee
Oh,
and
Jesus.
bow before me.
The masters demand your
My
death!
faith strengthens me. Follow my lead.
Just a minor setback.
Stay vigilant.
Everyone, step aside. Let's see to it. I won't object to it.
Such is the will of chaos!
too easy. Suits my purposes.
Activate calculated fury algorithm. Your desire comprehends all. My vow is to serve.
Guided by faith. Faith without deeds is worthless.
Mandatory ocular augmentation.
As the Emperor commands, I act. I'll do it. Eradicate.
I thought too highly of your skills.
As the Emperor commands, I act.
Ah, god damn it. Fucking miss, what was that?
Cover me!
Will do.
Follow my lead.
Oh, he's only got a shotgun. Let's just turn this time around passionately.
Indeed.
The warp is deaf to my prayers.
Oh, these stuff's going on there.
But of course, Lord Captain. For the throne's glory.
Surfaces around are covered with mucus.
Focus, Van Kellogg's. Focus.
It's me. Okay, if that's the case. Let's finish this guy up.
Already done.
Momentum.
Oh shit, why am I getting zapped out? That ain't cool.
Heavy is the tread of his faithful. The vital function successfully terminated.
God Emperor, move through me. Be the fire in my heart. Faith without deeds, strike is a prayer. justice for the weak. I know what is to come.
How big is lightning range? Not big
Not
enough.
this crying job.
My place is at the fore. I'd rather not.
The warp is deaf to my prayers.
Is part of the trial.
I won't object to it.
The road take you.
Problem.
What hit him? Okay, he's dead, so why am I still in combat exactly? Oh, another one there.
As the tactical imperative dictates.
That's pretty brutal.
My competences are not that universal.
Rejoice in battle! As the Emperor commands, I act.
Where's your cutting house, son of a
I'll do
bitch?
it. None can escape the Emperor's judgment.
A new challenge for me?
Nothing's impossible for this old officer.
A multitude of symbols are carved into the enormous generator. You realize they are the foundational tenets of the Electro-Priest religion. Standing out among them is the triumph of reason over all other facets of human nature. A multitude of symbols are carved into the enormous generator. You realize they are the foundational tenets of the Electro-Priest religion. Standing out among them is the triumph of reason over all other facets of human nature.
Experience. Nothing matters more.
That was insulting.
God damn it.
Vengeance will be swift.
These dead heretics are suspiciously different from the others. The symbols on their clothes are drawn wrongly, and standard-issue military uniforms show through the blasphemous tatters.
Success is an irrefutable certainty.
The bodies of careless cultists have been thoroughly fried by an arc of the motive force. A crowd of cultists has surrounded a tech priest crucified upon a mechanism. A rhythmic whisper repeated by 100 voices blends into some blasphemous enchantment. Powerful discharges of the motive force run through the machine, causing the unfortunate prisoner's body to convulse brutally and forcing woeful cries of pain from his lips. The tech priest's hoarse voice echoes under the ceiling.
In the clenched claws of stagnation,
Pascal's mechadendrites spring into combat mode instantly, and a wrathful rattle comes from his vox.
I am registering a severe violation of the Purity Protocol. The Blessed Amaranat has been captured by heretics and is being tortured.
The heretics have taken up positions everywhere, and many more are doubtlessly hiding in the passages leading out of the hall. The mechadendrite points to the corpses of heretics lying nearby.
We can use the blasphemer's clothing as a disguise. Unrecognized, we can sabotage the power units.
The lightning discharges have charred the cultists' corpses. Whiffs of smoke rise from their empty eye sockets, whose contents have evaporated. Their clothes, covered in the blood of innocents, are crudely painted over with emblems of the archenemy, which exude a repulsive air of soul decay.
I shudder with disgust at the mere thought of having to touch clothing adorned with unholy symbols, let alone wear it. This is the first step toward falling, a small compromise with evil that will lead to something greater.
The signs of the archenemy are not just painted symbols, but conductors of its will. The words of their prayers, even spoken without faith, their coats of arms, even deceitfully worn. All this increases the presence of the ruinous powers near you and draws their corrupting attention to you. I pray that the Omnisia gives the blessed Amarnad enough fortitude.
Pascal grimaces as a new wail of pain rends. The heretic's garb clings to your skin like a greedy leech. Tingling and foul fever spread over your body, as though these tatters have imbibed the vile contents of their former wearer's soul.
I'll lay claim to the stars.
This is probably a good point for a quick save.
I'm restless.
Got a level up
Look, they say a little bit of humility never hurt anyone. I help others better themselves by wholeheartedly humiliating them at every step.
Fuck, I first did a smoke thing again. Oh well, that's the theme of the stream. Every time I forget to get the one fucking thing I need.
It's about time.
What's the deal here? That overload the system.
A grim-looking heretic walks up to you resolutely, blocking your path. As he studies your disguise with suspicion, you note that his left eye has 2 conjoined irises while his right eye has 4.
I don't know you. Who are you? And why haven't I met you before?
The cultist smiles bloodthirstily.
Oh, you're new. That's right. Every newcomer must slit a false believer's throat to prove their loyalty to the edge of daybreak. Did you enjoy it all? You don't have to answer. I can see you did. Go ahead, brother.
I see, so I basically get to walk around.
None shall stand in my
The altar is
way.
adorned with gilded skulls. Threads of metal that used to be electus are fused onto the bone. Once majestic, the altar has now been desecrated with blasphemous images of blue-green suns. Some of its levers and buttons have been pried from their sockets, but the mechanism still glorifies the Omnisia with its operation.
I identify this as the safety system control altar. For our diversion to succeed, this blessed machine must be executed, and may...
Pascal offers a short Bin Harik prayer, then enters command after command to set up a trap for the machine spirit inhabiting the altar. The code born out of the tech priest's tinkering causes the spirit to flutter confusedly in a snare of impossible commands, heat up the altar's circuit boards, and
May we be granted the Omnisia's forgiveness for this act. I am registering a general shutdown of the security system.
The command throne is not yet ready for the power unit litany.
Follow my lead.
That looks like something.
A heavy crown of golden neural augmetics rests upon the servitor's head. The crown is bent and broken from ruthless Gumbert blows. The pale body is covered in blasphemous inscriptions carved into the...
I identify this acolyte as a distribution servitor. I am registering upon it traces of... For the glory of the Omnisia, let this machine's spirit sleep, that it may awaken and serve again.
Pascal gently touches the servitor's crown, deactivating one of its segments.
Let the outer neural connection circuit be plunged in darkness.
Another touch, and several lights on the crown go out.
Let the command response hub fall silent.
Pascal switches to Binharic's speech, accompanying his every action with a line from a sacred hymn. It is amazing how the Reverend or in the Tech Priest's voice can be discerned even through his rattling vox. Suddenly, a shower of sparks bursts from the augmetics on the servitor's brow, and several black, ash-tinted...
Energize the Hall's power unit.
It will be done.
Okay, so basically did all the stuff.
Victory awaits!
I believe, sorry, yeah.
A Tech Priest's corpse, his throat slit, sits upon a splendid command throne laced with finely wrought motive force parts.
This is the Lumino Deacon's command throne. This is where the power unit actuation and shutdown litanies are recited from. The blessed Lumino Deacon himself has the honor of closing the circuit the motive force flows through.
As soon as you lay your hands on the command throne's panels, a painful sting of electricity numbs your senses for an instant. Your fingers cramp and your vision grows dim. Pain is visible in the Tech Priest's eyes as he looks upon the sacrilege.
Forgive us, Omnisia, for such a gross violation of the right of operation.
Clinging on to the blazing shreds of your fading consciousness, you repeat the words of the litany after Pascal and touch the command runes as the unabating lightning rips through your muscles and makes your bones crackle.
I am recording a successful activation of the power units.
God damn. That was the way to do it, surely.
A new challenge for me.
In the cycles of the foreordained, there lurks a flaw of worship.
The Tech Priest's body convulses. Pained, plaintive creaks of Binharic prayers come from his vox. As moments pass, the signal becomes less and less clear, as if something twisted and wrong were being added to it. Pascal studies the Tech Priest's face carefully. His vox system moans in a tragic vibrato.
Subject unidentified. This is not the blessed Amarnat. Stranger, I request your name. How do you know my Minter's motto?
There are deep burns all over his flesh, and the skin around his augmetics is charred. Blasphemous spells have been carved into his sacred iron, forming unholy litanies of scrap code. It is amazing how robust this Tech Priest's life support systems have proven to be in maintaining the spark of life in his grievously wounded body. As soon as you touch the Tech Priest's battered flesh, he shifts his gaze to you and says, with sudden clarity,
Many sparks have gone out, but not all. The electric shepherds are alive. In the darkness, I heard their prayer.
A blast of the motive force runs down the Tech Priest's body, and his face contorts in a mocking grimace. Malformed Binharic.
Information archived to the effect that the circuit restoration hymn is the entrance password to the Electro Priest's hiding place.
Pascal responds with the dual rhythms of a containment aria.
I note with great sorrow that the cultist's ritual has been partially successful. My tech brother has been...
The possessed man responds with a burst of repulsive laughter. Every now and then, a word or two of Gothic finds its way into the bin. His body convulses. His joints twist at unnatural angles with the sound of bursting steel couplings. As the possessed man thrashes about, his internal augmetics emerge gradually through the hanging tatters of his flesh, as though an iron homunculus hidden inside the Tech Priest were trying to cast off the meat cocoon it no longer. Pascal's mechadendrite extends a thin drilling needle. Sacred unguent glistens on it. A code purification aria is heard as the needle sinks into the possessed tech priest's skull and touches his neural augmetic, forming an electric circuit with it. Undaunted, you grab one of the severed cables and press it into the tech priest's body, and a shock of formidable power shakes the possessed man. Machine oil gushes out of his mouth. His vox hisses deafeningly as the flow of the motive. The tech priest's eyes roll up, and he loses consciousness, crushed, yet still alive and no longer in the thrall of corruption. With the utmost care, Pascal takes his body down from the mechanism.
Rest, Tech Brother. We will come back for you when we have done our duty to the... Lord Captain, the Omnisia commands a pious mind to strive toward uncovering the truth. Therefore, I will not stop until I find my mentor and understand his connection to this servant of the machine god. I request the privilege of joining your retinue as a rightful companion. I can offer to fulfill the duties of an engineer on your ship in exchange for the right to follow you and conduct my own investigation.
Cool. Sounds good to me.
Despite all the suffering he has endured, the tech priest is still alive, though unconscious.
Darkness lurks beyond the bright flashes. No, two darknesses. One streaked with red, with clanking shackles and false preaching. The other a bilious yellow, the tang of roiling blood and screams of pain.
Good old goods.
None shall stand in my way.
Unlocked.
How do I go up?
The bodies of careless cultists have been thoroughly fried by an arc of the motive force.
Yeah, I've already been here, what the fuck?
Unlocked.
Successful.
I mean, this is talking about the electro priest that I've already killed.
Follow my lead.
The machine auto accepts the contact circuit restoration him with a deferential whir.
Ooh, secret door.
A shortish, muscular man wearing the scarlet colours of the priesthood of Mars steps into your path. The wrinkles on his cheeks and forehead point to his propensity for frequent outbursts of fierce anger, but right now, he is showing no signs of aggression. Glowing blue patterns of electric tattoos, or electoos, show through his oddly bluish tinted skin. A tight bandage covers the man's eyes, yet he turns his face straight toward you with no hesitation. He has a sharp, screeching voice not unlike a bird's cawing.
May the charge of the Omnisia's mercy persist in the hands of the faithful. May the motive force persist in their batteries.
The man responds curtly, as if giving a military command.
The hallowed
Pascal bows down humbly before the man. A trill of Binharic signals comes from his vox, to which the praetor responds with a solemn gesture of blessing. Pascal turns to you and says,
The rank of Praetor Electroid is a sign of high standing within the Electro Priest fraternity. To have been granted an audience is a great honor. You have the honor of hosting the rogue trader of House Von Valancius. I urge you to follow proper etiquette when interacting with the imminent bearer of the sacred warrant. Within these walls, worldly titles are nothing before the motive force. Your deeds, however, speak far louder than titles, for your path here is sprayed with the blood of desecrators. Yes, Tech Brother Abel arrived here to engage in a magnetic meditation that would help clarify his visions. Unfortunately, the heretic's machinations prevented us from completing the ritual. The esteemed Logis volunteered his help in defending the monastery, but contact with him was lost soon afterward. We did not speak much to each other. He preferred to devote his time to solitary reflections in his chapel. The Omnisia has given Tech Brother Abel a gift. His mind has always been able to combine facts. The Omnisia's revelation was encrypted with great meticulousness, which indicates its great importance. I hope the Omnisia preserves Tech Brother Abel's life. Truth is like light, and blocking its path is criminal. The hard-working servants and dwellers of this cenobium. We have devoted ourselves. The relic that this monastery protects provides the entire planet of Rykad Minories with the blessed motive force. It would be pointless to describe the
Pascal keeps his solemn silence, but the quick clicking of his mechadendrite's claw betrays his excitement at being so close to the sacred.
Our faith imposes a duty of obedience on us. Every electro-priest. The Omnisia's tears is what we call this phenomenon, this dying away of unworthy flesh. As we shun the layperson's primitive means of looking at the world, we gain the ability to sense the motive force around us with our entire bodies. I am pleased to be the conductor of truth. When the heretics descended in droves upon this cenobium, we gave battle, but the unholy foes buried the Omnisia's warriors under a mass of their bodies, thus extinguishing the defenders' sparks of purity. It was then that I ordered my few. I must commend the skill with which your secret chambers are concealed.
You hear a tinge of wounded pride in Heinrich's words, as if he is upset about.
The leader of the heretics fought her way into the ark wherein dwells the miraculous fusion reactor. She's trying to desecrate the rite of operation with her unholy litanies, so that the relic may be corrupted in the world of Rykad Minories. This holy place will be protected against sacrilegious practices. I swear it. That is a lamentable mistake. We knew of no help that was on its way. I wonder if you would have so touchingly mourned the Lord Captain's death, or if such sentiments would have only been awoken by the sound of our void ship delivering a punitive strike from orbit. I cannot allow this. Lay people are forbidden from visiting the monastery, and only a select few are allowed to behold the Ark and the relic within. You and your retinue are pilgrims of a special status bestowed by. Confirmed. The presence of lay people on monastery grounds without the praetor elect.
Heinrich opens his mouth for a second to say.
Sure, better to die protecting their lumens and coils than to accept help from unworthies. And we're left to deal with the mess as usual.
Thank you, Pilgrim. It was not easy, watching unholy intruders stampede. The Ark is hidden from Pilgrim's eyes, but considering the extraordinary circumstances of your visit to this monastery, I grant you that right. The hall that leads to the High Reliquary has been barred by the enemy, but I will open a. Only those lay people who desire to experience the motive force are allowed to cross this. May the charge of the Omnisia's grace persist in the batteries of the faithful.
So goods. Goods, new goods. Oh, supposed to go down. My bad. This feels like boss battle territory.
The face of the woman who stands before you is hidden behind a grotesque barred mask. Yet the voice pouring out beneath it belongs to someone else. It is the husky, somber bass of a void wolf, a border of ships.
How predictable your path is. How static. All the possible deaths you have skirted, only to perish here, in the fiery tempest that will...
The woman turns her mask to Pascal and gloats.
You have arrived just in time, little cog. The schismaticals use your regalia like a mask to subdue the reactor.
Pascal's vox rasps musingly.
A cog. I cannot comprehend why apostates try to insult me by comparing me to the sacred symbol of our faith. It is irrational.
His visor lights up like a crimson herald of bloodshed, and his drilling mechadendrite whirs viciously as it readies to strike.
The sacred cog grinds all corruption to dust. From the dust, I will build order.
Surrender. The gall of it. You are chained to the faucet of a dead god's religion. Captives do not take captives.
The woman's voice breaks and shifts to a different pitch and timbre, a martyr's voice, young, fervent, and in pain.
Time has all but run out. I can hear the fist of the future knocking on the door of the present. Choose quickly what you want to be when it walks in. A blind slave to what is gone, a faithful servant of what is to come, or a corpse.
I would take some time to wrest from you the details of the future that the cult prophesies. Hopefully, when we're done, what's left of you will still be capable of coherent speech.
What you'll be is a living torch blazing for his glory.
Argenta's voice burns with pure hatred and trembles with impatience to make the promise come true.
My name is known to you. I am Aurora, servant of Uralan the Cruel, and the spark of the final dawn that is destined to set Rykad Minoris ablaze. A great path for one who was born into the Imperium's bondage, but shunned her predestination in favor of the changes promised by the edge of daybreak.
Resounding laughter comes from behind the mask.
Your flippancy is so amusing. Why, you have no inkling of the chasm that separates us. He is a prophet who foresaw our impending doom, and who graciously bestowed upon us the right to choose a different path. He is a shard of ancient wisdom from a time before we were slaves to our bitter predestination. Rogue trader. I can't wait to close this creature's mouth with the seal of death. Or are you saving this glorious deed for yourself? Our teacher. Our savior.
You cannot see the woman's face behind her mask, but judging by her tone of malicious triumph, you could swear she is smiling.
And he remembers you, Acca von Valancius. The silly savior fantasy you have been acting out amuses the true masters of those people's fates. Salvation from a death whose name is yet unknown, but whose approach is sensed by many. Soon it will claim every inhabitant of the Koronus Expanse. Do you think anyone will come to our aid when cataclysms shake our homes and planet-wide genocides are unleashed? Will the Emperor help? Or the idol of iron they call the Omnisia? No. Everyone born in the Imperium has a predestination. The soldier. Even your path is predestined, rogue trader. You will inevitably perish on your quest to expand humanity's domain, and your end will be particularly grim and ghastly. The fruits of your efforts will be enjoyed by others, the eternal aristocrats, who dwell. They insist that it is the natural order of... Do you think they are blind? They see far more than you do. Through reflections in mirrors blessed by
The woman takes a glass prism out of the folds of her clothes, and looks at you through it with a mocking chuckle. The prism's bluish-pink sheen imprints itself on your retinas as though it has been burned into.
In that case you should consider losing the eyes too, sister, cause your visions are all wrong. My whispers are telling me something completely different about who dies here and how. I won't spoil. Conversations about truth always frighten ignorant minds. Brother Twilight, known to you as Kunrad, marked you as a target. Your foiling of his plans sealed your death warrant. It is now... I am lighting the spark of the final dawn. Sometimes the future revealed in the edge of daybreak's visions is fragmented between the facets of possibility and the view.
You will never tame the spirit of this ancient and noble machine, ignorant layperson.
It does have a vile temper, but I have assistants who can help tame it.
The woman nods casually toward the main electric. One of the servants of the Omnisia casts a tortured glance at you, his voice trembling with horror.
Blasphemous spirits have crawled under our skin and into our sacred iron.
They resisted for a long time, but now their bodies and souls belong to the schismaticals. Line after line, the scrap code they produce will awaken the reactor's unyielding spirit as well. And it, too, will yearn for change and freedom.
The woman's voice becomes thin and brittle like that of an innocent child.
Execute.
The electro-priests rip their hands off the command panels, rending their flesh on the stakes that pierced them. As their schismatical controlled bodies are imbued with the motive force's radiance, all the unfortunates... You cannot make out her blasphemous words, but the name the heretic keeps repeating, the edge of daybreak, digs into your hearing like a blade into defenseless flesh. Its sound is almost physically painful. It spawns strange and impossible phantoms in your mind. However, you manage to muster your strength and banish it from your mind.
Submit, and you'll die quickly.
Oh, I see. We've got to destroy these things.
Death to the weak. Heed my screams.
As the Emperor commands, I act. I'll do it. Faith without deeds is worthless.
Things suck.
I serve the ruinous power.
Enjoy your luck while you still draw
Death for
breath.
unbelievers.
Reckless. Naturally.
Your reckoning is due. Out of my way!
What?
A gloomy premonition clouds the mind.
I'm not so sure. That is not my destiny. On it. Ah! Ah!
I'll pass. nothing I can't do. Suits my purposes. At your beck and call. Someone else can do this. Tried and tested tactics are the best ones. It will be done. Reduced to dust. I will do my duty.
Chaos guides me.
Wow, that sucks.
None can escape the Emperor's judgment. I'll do it.
Chaos guides me. Your end is near. Death to the weak.
Get me a target. Let's see to it. I'm done with this one.
Oh, he does have a gun.
What is this foreboding? Will do. Anything else? Not this scryer's draw.
Never wavered in the face of adversity. Not a problem for me. My time is now! Already done. Suits my purpose.
Dang, twofer. Nice. There's one back here as well. Oh, dang. Where's the rounds going up? Oh, because I'm killing the priests. Okay, cool.
The warp is deaf to my prayers.
It will be done.
Oh, off goes his head. No.
Victory is imminent.
Leave him down here, but
Advancing.
it just takes too much to get here.
I will bathe this battlefield in righteous fury. Doubt is for the weak. Guided by faith. As the Emperor commands, I act.
I'll put my psychic abilities to use. For the throne's glory.
Wow, that's a distance. Okay. Oh yeah, he scans too. Forgot about that.
There is movement in the Empyrean.
None will stand against me.
Will do. But of course. Was it you? Or
My tactics are flawless. Nothing of value has been lost.
I've seen worse battles than this in my time. One fewer target.
Yeah, so every time I kill one it goes up. That's pretty useful.
It will be done.
was supposed to be a precise attack. Not shoot your boys in the back of the head attack. Fucking the way this thing is there is like right behind this shit. It's really annoying. Maybe it's over here and try and shoot this.
God Emperor, move through me.
That's how I run
Be the
from.
fire in my heart.
Might get me there. Yes. Wow. Missed every damn shot. And again. It's almost as if she's not right fucking next to him.
I need a foothold. I won't object to it. Let's see to it.
Cases against humans,
But of course, Lord Captain.
It's in the right direction. I'm getting confused. Yeah, there it is.
They who discern the future own the battlefield.
Shadows are reversed for a moment.
She's just how attacks. Annoying, but okay.
Not a problem for me. Nothing opposing me was your biggest mistake.
A tactically sound approach. That's not the Seneschal's job. At your beck and call, reduced to dust.
The warp is deaf to my prayers.
Duty go home.
It's more just than one route. Forward. Request approved. High momentum.
Oh damn, that's bright. Is there nowhere here she can shoot across from? Oh, there we go.
The enemies of the Emperor will be undone.
Oh, well, she's actually got that guy in range.
Faith without
Yes,
deeds
please.
is worthless. As the Emperor commands, I act. I know what is to come. I'm not so sure. What an unfortunate turn of fate.
Forge ahead! Your done. All too easy.
Oof, nice. Actually hit. I was not expecting that. Slade right up there.
Follow my lead.
We'll have to bring all fucking back down to us at this lady afterwards on some range charge.
It will be done. I will do my duty to take care of this one.
Enough.
Now an aged, rattling voice speaks to you from behind the bloodstained mask.
You are powerless to halt the approach of what is to come. I see a crimson trail leading humanity to its doom. I see the glow of the final dawn, and that means existence has made its choice.
A dagger flashes in Aurora's hand. She drives it into the control panel with all her strength.
Now you will see it too.
A blinding voltaic arc bursts forth from the broken control panel and strikes at Aurora's uncanny mask. Its metal heats up. Smoke.
The light is gone. Was that it? The final dawn. But why was it so different from what our teacher promised?
Aurora shakes her head blindly. Her voice is now the voice of an ordinary middle-aged woman, frightened and in pain.
You will pay for this. You will. You.
The woman's body goes limp and collapses to the floor. Her iron mask hits the ground with a dull thud. Pascal examines the corpse with contempt, then concludes dryly.
Confirming purgation and termination.
Heinrichs grimaces in disgust.
The heretic took her secrets with her. Pity.
I said it would come as a shock to her, didn't I? Her eyes literally sparkled with astonishment.
Idira's smug grin gives way to an expression of concern.
That said, my friends from behind the door won't calm down. They keep sneering and guffawing as if the joke's on us and not her.
Heinrichs approaches Aurora's body and leans over it.
A minute, please, Aku. I need no more than a minute.
The cogitator is probably well beyond repair, but your attention is drawn away from the sacred machine and toward the dagger sticking out of the control panel. On closer inspection, it turns out to be the lavishly decorated handguard of a sword whose blade has been pried out. Its pommel is decorated with a strange adornment resembling an eye covered by a scaled lid. What remains of the blade has a blue sheen to it, the same tint as Kunrad's weapon during the mutiny on your void ship. This is no human-made object. It was grown from wraithbone, a material favoured by the Eldari. As you lean over the shard, you suddenly hear a multitude of voices. They blend together and individual words are distorted, as though they are mocking your attempts to grasp their meaning. The nagging whisper is like the burning red scratch of an unholy claw upon your mind. Heinrich raises his head, gets up, and makes a wry face as he carefully examines Aurora's weapon.
This unholy object is the work...
Heinrich takes the strange shard out of the control panel and studies it for a few seconds.
Curious.
Heinrich stows the corrupted
Rogue Trader, on behalf of the Holy Ordos, I thank you for your cooperation and release you from requisition. From this moment on, I am at your service. I am ready to come aboard your ship and head for Footfall as soon as you deem it possible. That is, if you do not have other business in this system, in which case I am prepared to assist you in its prompt resolution.
The iron helmet is firmly attached to the heretic's flesh. Her face is impossible to make out in the darkness behind the bars of her mask, but after peering at it for a little...
Executing. Let the Omnicia-given motive force flow, and all obstacles in its path be eradicated.
A new challenge for me? Victory awaits!
Miraculous fusion reactor.
Attention to detail is the key to success.
The cultists were killed with a hit to the back from some kind of electric weapon. Lay people unworthy of entering the hallowed cenobium humbly said their prayers next to this computational altar.
Over.
Judging by the dead people's equipment, they were the same wardens the governor sent to the monastery's aid. The pieces are molten at the edges. The statue was likely blasted by a barrage from a multi-laser turret, the type found on landing force shuttles.
Follow my lead!
Compared to naval service, that was barely a challenge.
Rogue Trader. I was somewhat brusque at our first meeting, and I would like to make up for it by expressing my thanks for your assistance in... Thanks to you, I have succeeded in finding the object that brought me to this system in the first place. Now that the weapon of corruption has been seized from the cult, I can satisfy the Lord Inquisitor's wish and travel with you to Footfall, once you have finished your business on Rycat. There is one more thing. The Lord Inquisitor gave me this item some time ago. He must have thought it likely that I would find myself aboard this vessel sooner than he. I was instructed to deliver this device to Lady Theodora. However, given recent events, I believe I ought to present it to you. This is an elucidator, a sacred machine capable of translating the languages of remote and lost worlds into Low Gothic. It can even process xenos languages to a certain degree. Not without infelicities, but possibly well. May the elucidator serve House von Valancius as faithfully as it has served the acolytes of the Holy Ordos up to now. I would like to offer my assistance in resolving your immediate problems. I am aware that the ship suffered considerable losses during the recent mutiny and was damaged by the cult. It all depends on the electro priests who survived the attack. Fortunately for them, the cultists did not manage to seriously corrupt the holy site, partly thanks to the priest.
Heinrichs is about to say something else.
Thank you for your time. Please consider me at your complete disposal. What?
Congratulations on the victory, your lordship. The entire vessel was impatiently awaiting the news of your expedition's success. The rumors about you not simply saving the tech priest. Governor Medinay is expecting you at his command center to discuss matters. We are ready to depart immediately. Just give the order.
You're trash. Should have more grenades equipped. Blinding grenade. There you go, man. This is single shot sword. Tempting. 15 armor against weapon. Oh, that's interesting. Possess of this burning. Oh, that's instead of the cape. Oops. Base armor plus 5 dodges where it's should smart for. I don't know what mine is for. Wear that. Make sure my cape isn't here. I guess because I set a new sword and I got a cape ages ago. Correct, increases dodge or something. Fuck, where did it go? Maybe it was the heroic one. Oh no, there's another one here. Ranger officer archetypes, no, not that. What's this? 15 long hits walk damage. Nice. Okay, so I guess it was that one then. What's we got? That's just a thing. Goes in that book slot. No component available. Interesting. So I guess I can just go through like this. Oh, that's really good for him. Grenades. Grenades. Kit. Consort. This is current armor. 35. Okay. Save. I think I saw Chris Man's on by now. Flying. Very annoying.
Inside, ooh. Yeah, Tostinos.